The latest drug from Eisai and Biogen has failed to convince European experts in the field of Alzheimer's. Experts on Alzheimer's disease in Europe are currently assessing the potential use of a new drug from Eisai, 4523, and Biogen, BIBO. But they have expressed concerns that the health risks associated with its use may not justify the benefits of slowing cognitive decline, especially given the scarce healthcare resources available. Leqembi, also known as lecanemab, is currently undergoing regulatory review in Europe and is expected to receive traditional approval in the US next month. This approval is based on trial data that demonstrated its ability to slow cognitive decline by 27% in patients diagnosed with early-stage Alzheimer's disease. According to reports by 9 neurologists and researchers spanning 6 countries in Europe, where the adoption of new drugs is carefully scrutinized for cost-effectiveness, it is doubtful that lecanemab would see widespread usage if it were to be approved. This aligns with analysts' projections, which indicate that the drug may have a limited market in Europe. According to certain medical professionals, the potential impact of the treatment on the disease may not be significant enough in comparison to the possible risks of brain swelling, the anticipated expense, and the limited availability of staff and resources necessary for administering and monitoring twice-monthly infusions and conducting MRI scans to identify brain swelling. The mechanism of action for lecanemab involves the elimination of adhesive clusters of the protein amyloid beta in the brain. These clusters are suspected to be a defining characteristic of Alzheimer's disease. During the clinical trial, almost 13% of patients treated with the medication reported experiencing brain inflammation that could potentially lead to severe complications. In Italy, patients seeking any means to improve their disease progression have started inquiring about lecanemab, according to Dr. Carlo Colosimo, the head of the neurology department at Santa Maria University Hospital. The speaker stated that it is important to look at the bigger picture, and according to most experts in his country, the effort is not worth it. The spokesperson for Eisai acknowledged that implementing a novel treatment for early Alzheimer's would pose considerable obstacles to the healthcare system. Nevertheless, they conveyed assurance that these issues could be surmounted. However, Eisai refrained from offering any insight into the opinions of clinicians. The European Brain Council predicts that the number of people in Europe with Alzheimer's, which is currently estimated to be around 7 million, will double by the year 2030. As a part of the independent panel responsible for advising Europe's drug regulator on neurology treatments, Colosimo expressed his doubts regarding the clinical significance of lecanemab for patients. Although the trial outcomes were statistically significant, the drug's rejection by the European regulator would not be unexpected, he stated. The EMA, who is currently assessing lecanemab, is anticipated to provide its verdict later this year or at the beginning of 2024. The agency, however, refused to give any insight into its evaluation process. Nevertheless, medical professionals have predicted that if the drug is sanctioned and introduced, it will prepare European healthcare institutions for more efficacious therapies that are yet to come. The drug is expected to receive approval from EMA and become available for use in Europe next year, with analysts predicting that sales will be primarily driven by the US market. According to analysts at Barclays, the sales of a certain product in Europe are expected to gradually increase and reach their peak in the year 2032. At this point, it is anticipated that approximately 13% of the patient population will have acquired this product. The estimated sales in Europe are projected to reach $2.6 billion, while in the United States, it is anticipated that sales will reach $3.7 billion in the same year. According to researchers, the extensive media coverage of lecanemab's clinical trial success has created a perception among patients that it is a panacea for all ailments. It would be an unrealistic expectation, stated Professor Frank Jessen, who is the primary contributor to the German national guideline regarding the diagnosis and treatment of dementia. He further added that the objective of the treatment is to decelerate the progression of the disease. However, comprehending this concept is not effortless for patients. During the trial, an 18-point scale was utilized to assess cognitive abilities such as problem solving and memory, and the results indicated only a slight difference between patients who received lecanemab and those who were given a placebo. According to Professor Giovanni Frisoni, who oversees a memory clinic in Geneva that serves approximately 900 patients annually, patients are unlikely to be impressed by the drug's effects. As clinicians celebrate the long-awaited arrival of the first effective drug after 3 decades of work, patients may still question whether it is enough to meet their needs, leaving them with a sense of uncertainty. Managing symptoms like memory and cognition decline is the primary focus of Alzheimer's care at present. In 2019, the World Health Organization, WHO, approximated that the cost of tending to individuals with dementia, including Alzheimer's in Europe, amounted to $439 billion. This translates to an average cost of $31,144 per person and encompasses various expenses such as hospitalization, diagnostics, medication, community services, long-term care facility expenses, and the time dedicated by informal caregivers. The utilization of lecanemab is a possibility that could potentially augment the current treatment options available. The price of this medication is listed at $26,500 annually within the United States. However, it is probable that most European countries will negotiate a lower cost. In order to identify eligible patients, diagnostic equipment and personnel are required to perform lumbar punctures to analyze cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, or PET brain scans to detect the presence of amyloid in the brain. According to a study conducted in 2019, the estimated cost for conducting 100,000 CSF tests in the first year would be approximately £63.3 million. $79.6 million, which encompasses the expenses incurred on providing specialized training to UK nurses. In order to properly evaluate MRI scans for brain swelling, it would be necessary to have personnel who are specialized in infusion nursing and have received training in the field. The World Health Organization has reported that healthcare resources are currently inadequate throughout Europe. A national study conducted in Italy has uncovered an estimated shortage of 29,000 healthcare professionals in hospitals. The question that should be asked is whether this particular drug is worth the investment in our already strained healthcare systems, stated Dr. Edo Richard, a professor of neurology at Radboud University Medical Center in the Netherlands. In my opinion, it is not a practical solution, nor is it something we should pursue. To support our channel's growth and ensure broader awareness, kindly hit the like and subscribe buttons. This will help us reach more individuals and disseminate valuable information. Thank you in advance.